Hello, 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 and welcome to another episode of the Strong Black Women Support Group podcast. I am your host, Regina Renee. I am the founder of Mindful and Melanated, the online community for everything mental health and wellness for Black women. And I'm also the host of this podcast and the founder of the Strong Black Women Support Group community. And I am joined today with our doctor in residence, Dr. Akua Rose Feathers. Hey!
Hello. What's up, friend?
How you doing today over there in Cali?
Listen, I'm doing good. It's cold over here. I do not love the cold, but I got my heater on, so I'm happy. And I just had my ramen, so it's all good.
I know that's right. I know that's right. So, Dr. Akua, today we are going to talk about self care, and I really want to dive deep into this topic because for a number of reasons. For one, I think that a lot of us really don't even know what self care means. I know for me, it took me a minute to really understand what self care means because Instagram had me all effed up, right? So I thought self care was aesthetics. I thought self care was rose petals in a bubble bath or getting my nails done or going to the spa, which these things could be included in self care, but I really just thought that's what it was. And so yeah, like I said, Instagram had me all messed up with that. So before we get into why self care is very important for Black women, um, can you do me a favor and define what self care is?
Yeah, so this is my jam. I just want to say that. This is matter of fact, it's my peanut butter and jam because I went let me answer your question before I go off. I love how you mentioned that, yes, those things, the aesthetics of it, they are definitely self care. To me, self care is putting me first, prioritizing my wellness, prioritizing my needs, prioritizing my wants, focusing on myself first. And that involves a lot of things because we have to then stand against what people think. Like everything I just said, some people are like, well, that's selfish. So that means when we start to launch into self care, we're fighting against certain narratives. But that is my short, quick, and dirty definition of self care is prioritizing myself.
Yeah, I think, and I think that's why the topic today, right, is self care as resistance because we need
Yes.
to resist those narratives and the way we've been socialized as women, specifically Black women, to not put ourselves first, right? So,
Yeah.
for example, if I'm not a mother, so I don't want to pretend like I know what it's like to be a parent, but I hear people say, "Oh, my kids come first," but do they or should they?
So I am a parent. And I prayed for the kids that I have. I said I'll either want twins or I want a son and a daughter in that order. And I got the second one. If I had twins, that meant I would have been done, finished, roll the tape. Um, but I learned very early on that if I put my kids first, and I want you to know, I'm going to hold your hand while I say this, because folks who are watching, the minute I start saying a lot of this stuff, eyes get to rolling, heavy breathing starts to happen, like sighing, like, wow, a lot of resistance. So as I say what I'm about to say, notice what come up for you and notice how you start to feel and then start asking questions about those things. If I put my kids first, I'm going to wear myself down because my kids never when they were children, they're grown people now, but when they were children, they never stopped needing me. There was always something of me that they needed, and I wanted to give it to them. Like that's 100%. Yes, I want to give you the things that you need. I also want to give you some of the things that you want, but if I put you first, that means when it's time for me to take a breather, when it's time for me to sleep, when it's time for me to just chill, when it's time for me to have fun, when it's time for me to be me, all of that's thrown out the window. And all I'm doing is go, 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 go after you. You can't be first. And that goes for spouse too. Spouse can't be first. We accept that concept better on an airplane than we'll accept it in real life. It makes more sense
Girl.
on an airplane, but we don't see how it also works in real life or day-to-day life.
Right, right. No, I got that. And so I want to touch on something you just said about, you know, putting yourself first before your kids and your spouse. And you, one of the things you mentioned was fun. I have been, and I'm not gonna lie, I've been guilty of this too in my younger non-healing days, right? I would see, women in the club like, why are you in the club? Don't you got a baby at home? Like,
I get that. I get
like
that.
what they say on Baby Boy, Mama gotta have a life too, Jody.
Because listen, that's a very key thing right there. I'm a woman. Yes, I'm a mother. You might be a mama, you might be a wife, you're a sister, you're a daughter, this professional person. But you're a woman, and that
Mm,
woman want to have fun,
hello.
right?
Right. And so, like you said, it makes more sense on an airplane versus like in like day to day life. And I feel like this, the cliche is you can't pour from an empty cup. And we know it. Like
Right.
intellectually, we understand that, right? But in your opinion, like what do you think is the resistance? Like what is the hesitation with us? Like why is it so hard? Like we know, duh, we can't pour for an empty cup. Duh, Regina, I know that, right? There's nothing in it. But why do we still continue to do it?
Because we know it. That's a cerebral thing. That's a mind thing. I hold it up here and I know it. I know today is, whatever day of the week. I know the time is blah, blah, blah o'clock. I know that I can't pour from an empty cup. But then in all of these spaces here, we have all of these societal expectations, family expectations. We have all of these things that tell us what we're supposed to do. So, yeah, I know I'm supposed to rest and I can't pour from an empty cup. But then I also have inside of me the feeling of not wanting to be talked about because, like you said, we
Mm,
used to go to the club. What you doing there? Don't you got kids? Like, those are the things that we're fighting against. If I say, oh, and I've said it, I have said it. I've been like, oh, I'm so tired. And you only got 2 kids, girl. You don't got no business being tired. I got 7,000 children and I'm like, you know how that go. So that's a part of the struggle for us because not only do we hear it from outside of ourselves, but we've internalized some of that. And then we created it as like a rule for ourselves. And it's almost a no-brainer. It's almost something we don't even think about. It's automatic. My kids need, my spouse needs, my pastor needs, my mama needs, my family needs. And then we hear ours in here somewhere, I need. And we're like, I'll get to that later. I'll do that tomorrow.
right.
Yeah.
And I think because I was a writing literature and publishing major, and so I love words, right? And so we break down self care. Like I said, I used to think self care was like the aesthetic, right? The spa, the bubble baths, or whatever. But if we really break down the word care, self care, right? Do you care about yourself?
Ooh.
You see what I'm saying? Like no brainer. We care about our kids. We care about our mom. We care about whatever. We care about the quality of life that we have. We care if we do a good job at
Wow.
work. We care
You
if,
need
if
you need
you
like
see what I'm
a pew
saying?
pew pew pew.
You see what I'm saying? Like you
Yeah.
care about you though. And
Yeah.
that's why for a long time it took me forever to really understand what self-care meant because when I was at my lowest, I didn't care about myself.
Oh my
Like
gosh.
if you're going through suicide ideation, I'm not saying you don't. I'm not speaking for everybody. I'm talking about me
Yeah,
specifically.
yeah, yeah.
I didn't care about me because I felt worthless, right?
Yeah.
So why would I care about this worthless blob? So no, I'm not gonna brush my teeth. No, I'm not gonna cook a healthy meal for dinner. I don't care
No,
about
I'm
you,
not gonna.
bitch.
I'm not going to sit in silence and listen to my thoughts. I don't care about what you're thinking. I don't care about what you want. I'm not going to take me on a walk. I'm not going to, no, I don't care about you.
Right.
That's so deep, yo. That's so deep. And dollars to donuts, I would be willing to bet if we were to just ask people a question to start off with first and say, do you care about yourself? Do
Mm.
you love yourself? I would be willing to bet that majority of the people would be like, of course. Or if we said something like, you don't care about yourself, you don't love yourself, they'll be ready to fight, not fight for
Fight
real, but
you.
like push. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? But
Listen.
then when we start breaking it down, oh, you do? Okay.
Oh, okay.
When last time you just took a rest because you had 10 minutes? When the last time you had 10 minutes to spare and you didn't do something to fill it in? When the last time you went and hung out with a friend j- just to hang out? It's we fill our days and our schedules with so much things to do, and we don't realize that that is the opposite of self-care. If you have, and I listen, as much as I am a, like I said, this is my jam, I'm an advocate for it, I'm a self advocate for it, I do still have moments where that socialized behavior shows up. And a good friend of mine had to tell me the other week, she was like, because I was like, okay, I don't know what to do. I got about 30 minutes before something, something. And she was like, Black woman, you get to rest. And when she said it just like that, because she knew that's how it would get my attention.
Right.
Black woman, you get to rest. And I was like, I received that. I received that. And I went and I made me some tea and I put my feet up and I rested. Self care. It doesn't have to be this big old huge thing. Self care. But I had to fight against that socialized belief in order to get to that space. That's that's our struggle, yo.
It is. It's a big struggle, and I'm not gonna lie. Like today in real time, I can give you a real life 5 minute ago example about how it's still a struggle for me. Right. So that's why I call myself a strong Black woman in recovery because I'm still recovering from
Period.
that strong Black woman syndrome. I'm still in recovery. Right. So I was texting a friend this morning, and we were gonna co-work. Um, Put a pin in that. I want to come back to the co-working thing. But
Yes, yes.
we were gonna co-work this morning, and I was like, "Girl, I'm just too tired. Like, I'm still in the bed." And she's like, "Oh, okay, go ahead, girl, get your rest." I said, "Okay, girl, yes." I said, "I'll text you later." So I'm lying in bed with my kitty cat, and I'm scrolling, doom scrolling through social media, and I see uh, this post on Instagram where this organization that is local to me, they were accepting applications for like this business accelerator program, and applications closed January 15th. And I was like, oh, I should apply for this. And I sat there and spent, I don't know, like 2, 3 hours writing out my application, like the answers to the questions. And I'm like, you were supposed to be resting, Regina? Like, what happened?
Mhm.
And I didn't realize what I was doing until after I hit submit, literally, because my I didn't realize what I did until after I done did it.
Right, 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 right.
And I'm like, you writing a whole proposal to these folks to get some money to help Black women learn how to rest, and what the fuck is you doing?
Yeah, yeah. So be easy, not too much on my friend, okay? Because she's doing the best she can, okay? Like you was doing the best you can, right? Because at least you had the realization, yes, you already it
I hit
was
submit. I was
after
like,
the fact,
oh,
but you it occurred to you.
girl, sit down somewhere. Like, yeah. But you're right. And that's one thing that I do need to work on is like giving myself grace when I do backslide or relapse or whatever.
Yeah. Because again, we're talking about generations. We are literally talking about centuries of an ingrained belief that is not only hardwired into us, it is literally in our DNA, but it has already been taught to us. It is socially adopted and accepted and expected
Expected.
the number of times. And let me tell you this. So I used to be really, involved in the church, and church culture is a cold piece. I can't tell you the number of times I'm sitting in circles of women, and these are women in like, support circles, women's ministries, and, all these different names to support. And we're coming for somebody who is moving, like in a different manner than these socialized beliefs. A mother who she leaving her kids with her so and so, the her mother. So the mother leaving the kids like with their grandmother essentially. Okay, the grandmother loves her grandkids and has said please do. The mother has made it a welcome environment, but we're gonna criticize
Right.
her for actually taking it up. I have had people, same environment and in personal relationships, make offers to me for support, and then when I accept them, criticize me. Well, we different because I never would have. Like I offered such and such and such, and you actually said yes. I'm like, nigga, what the fuck? Why did you offer it then?
Right.
You was offering it for pretend. You were offering it for like status or clout or for appearances or for the look of it. I am a woman who appreciates and needs support in different ways. I'm not out here all the time with my hand out. I grind, I hustle, but I don't do it in the ways of grind culture. I don't do it in the ways of hustle culture. The activities are still there, but I am very much, I like how you said it, in recovery. I am very much an actively in recovery because I'll put it down in a half a second. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
There are some days when I push past it, but I'm starting to see better balance in the days when I'll be like, I still got three more things to do, but I don't want to log off. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So we're fighting against these internalized beliefs, this socialized norm that is the they. Well, they said you can't, and if you at them, da 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 da. And we are literally fighting against people who are in our circle, close to us, in our care groups, who have these very strong opinions and don't have a problem expressing them. So that's where we're talking about when we're talking about self care and we're talking about resistance. And I hate that for us. Can I just pause there for a second?
Yeah.
I hate that the action of taking care of ourselves has to be resistance. I hate that.
Hmm.
I'm gonna do it, but I hate that. Like, how does that sit for you?
Yeah. Yeah. Because it's like, how can I say this so it's coherent? There's this trend on social media. It's been around for a while where it's like, soft girl life, soft girl era, or whatever. And it's like
Yes.
that sounds amazing, but like you said, for us to try to achieve that, it's us going through this resistance.
Yes.
That's not soft. That's very
Oh, Lord.
hard.
Louder for the
That's
people in the
harder
back.
than concrete. Come on.
Mhm. Yes. Yes. I'm
So
supposed to be in
before we
my
can
soft
get
girl
to the
era.
what'd you say?
No, no, no. Go, 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 go.
I was gonna say before we could even get to the soft part, we gotta chip away at this concrete, like the resistance.
Yeah. I promise you, I'm not making that my goal. Like, and I say that, but then it's a little bit of a lie because I am working to chip away at that, but not in the way that I'm putting that before me. Again, self care is putting me first.
Mm-hmm.
So while and it's a process. I am in recovery. I am working to become like in this whole like soft girl era, reversing that strong black woman expectation and stereotype and belief. And I am working to invite other people into that conversation and into that space with me. Um, I'm not going to be pushing hard. I'm not going to be fighting because I do have conversations with women and they push back. Well, yeah, I got to do this first and then I'll do that. Okay, cool. I'm gonna just plant seeds and I'm gonna be up, and those who want to go, I'm almost in my Harriet Tubman vibe. I'm almost in that.
Listen, listen. I was literally saying that about myself literally yesterday.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's a Harriet Tubman vibe. Because if you want to come, come on. If you don't want to come, no harm, no foul.
Remember back in the early 2000s when they had those rubber wristbands that had WWJD, what would Jesus do?
Yeah,
Remember those?
I
We need
do.
a WWHD. What would Harriet do?
Ooh, period. I love
Girl,
that.
I'm gonna
I
put that on
love
the
that.
website tonight. I'm gonna make some tonight.
About to go make some real quick. Bam, on sale.
What would Harriet
$7.
do? Because
Yeah.
it ends today, and like you said, like you're planting the seed, you're helping yourself and other folks chip away at it. So the good news is for those who are watching us right now or listening to us right now, um, Dr. Akua and I, we're actually going to be hosting a webinar, a virtual event about how to really, really, really dive into your self care. It's called 5 Ways to Slay Your Self Care in 2025 and Beyond. And so she and I were going to join forces and talk about how we as Black women could really, really like I said, slay it. Like
Yeah.
we have to get it together, and it needs to stop. Because we were talking about this the other day, Akua, how, and I was sitting and I was pondering. And fun fact, I'm a nature nut, right? So I love plants and animals. And I was sitting, I was thinking, I was watching, I forgot what I was watching, some National Geographic, something. It wasn't National Geographic, but it was a YouTube channel that was about, it was similar, that similar vibe.
Mhm.
And I was looking at like big cats. And I'm like, Black women are the only species on this planet that don't put self-preservation first. I'm like, flies do it, the grass do it, your kitty cat does it, lizards do it, men do it.
Period. Period. I'm gonna tell you something. When you said that to me the other day, I was driving and I
Oh,
literally had to like 10 and 2 on the wheel and just like stare because that one held me for a minute. I love nature too, but I'm not like so ingrained in it like that. And it never occurred to me. It never occurred to me that we have been socialized to go opposite of our intended nature. That blew me away. I was like, okay.
listen, because let me tell you something. The internet will tell you, and when I say the internet, I'm specifically speaking about like these red pill podcast guys, podcast bros. They'll sit there and tell you that it's natural for a man to be a provider and it's natural for a woman to be a nurturer. That is actually not true. That is absolutely not true. We are socialized to be that
Yes,
way,
we are.
right?
Yes, we are.
I said, but self-preservation, that is a natural, every freaking species on this planet has that except for Black women. If you walk down the sidewalk, you will see a dandelion grow up in between the sidewalk. But we can't call out when we sick.
Ooh, snap. But we can't lay down just because we got kids. We
Okay?
can't go hang out just because we a mama.
Or we can't tell first lady, I can't bake these cookies for the bake sale. I'm too tired.
Listen, ooh, that's a whole can of worms right there. In every what is that word? Every space that we go into, can't think of the word that I want. There are these expectations and beliefs, and I promise you, there's all of these ways that we get guilted into doing it. If I say to someone in the church space, "Oh, I can't do blah blah blah," then it's this guilting thing. This has been my experience, and this has been the conversation that I've heard repeated throughout the years of coaching and ministering to people and to supporting people, the guilting of that, where we say either they compare you to someone else. Well, Mother so and so is 157,000 years of age and she's still showing up every day and she come down. Okay. So it's either that, either they comparing that, or they guilt you and they it's not funny, but for some reason it's comical to me how
Mhm.
standard this is. How the next thing is they'll guilt you with some scripture. They'll
Mm.
guilt you with some expected religious rule, and I promise you, I am so weary of those religious rules.
Yeah.
Nowhere in the Bible do we say we supposed to blah 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 blah. So why are we doing it, sir, ma'am? There's a lot of other things that is nowhere in the Bible, but yet we still observe it. So when they talk about stuff, um, that's going too deep, going into a whole nother different direction.
No, but I
But
hear
there's a
you.
lot of conversation that pushes back against people who are seeking to support themselves, to care for themselves, to love on themselves through some sort of self-care practice. And there's a lot of pushback. And it baffles me. It baffles me how we still no we don't you don't nobody see this. We don't see this. It's a breakdown.
And it's like it's so normal. Like, and then for you to even question it, you're the weird one. You're the backslider. But let me give you another example. That's not like religious or church related. So, for all those who know me, I am an introvert. Um, so I essentially what that means is like I recharge in isolation, right? And so there have been instances where folks would invite me out because they're my friends or the associates, and they like me, they want me to be around, they want to share
You
their
like
dinner
me.
party or their events, they like me. you know and so of course I say, I'm not feeling it, no thank you, thanks for the invite, but no, I'm just really tired. Oh girl, once you get dressed and get out the house and you see everybody, you gonna get energized, you gonna have so much fun. No. What you doing anyway? You ain't got no kids. What you doing? It's Saturday. You ain't got nothing to do. I don't want to go. Oh, it's like that, girl. Okay, okay, I see.
You don't never want to do nothing. You always sitting at home. That's my testimony. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Let me be quiet.
What is like? One, you're not gonna guilt and shame me for going to your party. Like that's really gonna make me want to go to your party now. Now I don't want to go to
Right.
anything you have
Oh, period.
because now
Period.
it's like. Let me back up a little bit, right? I want to say that it's not me. Me voicing this is not me like complaining about. Let me back up. Me voicing this is not saying that these folks are malicious, because I'm sure it's just pure
Right.
good intention. Like I said, if you have a friend and you want your friend to come to a party, of course you're going to be disappointed that they don't want to come or they can't come or whatever the case may be. So this is not me coming from a damn like why you being malicious kind of. It's not that. That's not the energy that I'm not giving them no smoke is basically what I'm saying, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But sometimes I think we need to realize how it could affect the receiving party when we say things like that. Because, like I said, damn near everybody who knows me knows I'm an introvert.
Yeah.
Everybody who knows me. So for you to tell me, oh, if you once you get dressed and get out the house, you'll be energized, that is actually the opposite of what would happen to me. And even if that
Right.
was true, that is not your place to say. If I said
Yeah.
no, and here's the thing, I'm about to get deep, okay? Because
Come
I
on.
think people consent. People don't understand what consent means. Consent does not start and end with sex, okay? So if you're in if you're Netflixing and chilling with somebody, and he's like, well, let me just put the head in, and you say no, and he's like, come on, let me just touch the tip, and you say no or whatever. He does not understanding consent, right? If I tell you I don't want to go to your dusty ass party, and you keep saying, well, once you get dressed, That's I listen. I don't want to go.
Yeah, yeah.
And I
And
know
you
that's
just
a
brought
very extreme example, but like people need to understand consent does not start and end with sex. No
it.
means no.
It's a shocking example, but I think it's relevant because sometimes we got to say stuff like that to bring people to a certain awareness, because it is in the similar, it's right there on the spectrum. It may not be as detrimental as when someone's not consenting in a sexual situation, but it might be because it's my wellness that you're impacting. It's my personhood that you're attacking. And the person on the other side of that, they are also holding on to a bunch of socialized beliefs. The thing about it is, because they have either resisted the process or have not even entered into it at all, um, they don't have there's no script for how to respond to that, because along with that socialized belief that we supposed to go 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 is another socialized belief that when I invite, you're supposed to say yes. when
Right.
i when I hold a certain position, if I am your mother, I'm your sister, I'm your best friend, I'm your favorite cousin, if I hold a certain position of importance in your life, when I give an invitation, you're supposed to say yes. There's no script. We're building all of this stuff as we go along. The more people stand up or lay down and say, I need self care, we're building the script. We're creating a new pattern of socialized believing. But it's still in its infancy. I don't care if we've been doing this for 20 years. We come coming against hundreds of, right, these are
Literally.
generations of years where that other thing existed. So this is still a baby. So on the other side of it, to your point, there is still grace for the ones who are inviting us and then responding like, girl, what, you'll never come out, woo woo woo. There is still that grace. The spot where I invite them into is, if you ain't gonna practice it for yourself, let your homegirl do it. If you're not going to take self-care seriously, if you're not going to show you that you love you, and you see your friend knowing that I recharge when I'm by myself, because I'm the same way. I enjoy being around people,
Yeah.
but baby, that little girl with them red slippers had to go said something right when she said it was no place like home. Because when I think of home, I think of a place, huh? Uh, where there's peace overflowing, huh? So,
I can't.
so let me have mine, and let
Right.
me have mine and offer me some gentleness. Oh, okay, girl. And keep inviting her. I know you feel a way that she keeps saying no. And I don't mean you specifically as the she, I
Yeah.
mean us. Anybody who you know, those who are watching, who are trying to do this thing, let her have her self care and keep inviting her. She's not saying no to you. She's saying no to the overexertion, to the
Yes.
overextending of it all. Right?
And she's saying yes to herself. And she's saying no to being
Yes.
overstimulated. You know what I mean? Like it's it,
Period.
and that's the thing. Like I think some of us need to realize that, if someone respectfully declines an invitation, it's not you. Like,
It's
let me tell you
not.
something. Because I used to take almost everything personal, right? And I remember one time my little brother and I, we were talking about something. This was years ago. I don't remember the actual context of the conversation, but he said something to the effect of, "Don't nobody be checking for you like that." But not in a negative way. Like, ain't nobody
Yeah.
checking for Regina. It's like it's not that serious. Like when people make a decision, it's about them, not about you. And so when because like how you said, we sometimes we have to say things for shock value so we can get it. And he said it in that manner
Absolutely.
so that I can get it. And it wasn't until
Yeah.
he said it like that that I got it.
That's real
I ain't gonna
talk.
lie. I was like, "You being shady?" He was like,
Right,
"No."
right.
When he
I can't take
explained it, I was
that
like, "Oh,
move
okay," because you was about to get your ass kicked.
because I am big sister. Huh?
Okay. So,
I
but
love that.
yeah, so yeah, I really had to like, and it's so funny because if I'm feeling a type of way about something, I'd be like, but they ain't checking for you like that, and then I have to ground myself and really just and really process and think about why I was feeling some type of way.
Yes, 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 yes. And
Like what?
flip that, reverse it. The people on the other side of that, think about why you're feeling some type of way. You feel me? Oh, I invite every time I invite her. Why do you feel some type of way about that? I think that's an important milestone in that whole process towards this resisting with self care.
Right. Because there's a lot of processing that needs to be done, and it's not easy, and it could be quite uncomfortable, and you could learn some things about yourself. Because I listen, this healing journey, Akua, I have learned so much about myself in this last
Mm,
year.
yeah.
I turned 41 this year. So for 40 damn near 40 years, I didn't know who I was.
This
Hello, clock that T.
that's what I'm
I
saying.
turned 41 last month, and for damn near 40 years, I didn't know who Regina was. Clock that T.
The gag is the gag is I would venture to say that many of us are in that space, and
Mm,
that is one of the roots of the reasons that we need to start resisting with self-care, because the more I bring myself to know myself, then I can start responding to the things that self asks for and the things that self needs. But because I'm going to use this word, obeying all of these socialized beliefs and expectations, I'm stepping away from myself. I don't know what I need, but I've been socialized to know exactly what you need. You being, my anybody I'm giving care for, anybody in my the life that I care about. I'm socialized to know it, to be able to respond to it, because I want you to say I'm a good mother. I want you to say I'm a good wife. I want you to say I'm a good worker, a good sister, a good daughter, a good da 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 da. I want to be good to me. I want me to be good to me. We give so much care to other people and they love that shit. You can't tell me they don't love that. They sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But you get accolades from somewhere. I don't know what I would do if I didn't have you in my life. You are so valuable. You are so important. Wouldn't it be great to hear you telling you those things? Don't you deserve to be able to tell you those
right,
things? That's
right.
right.
And it's funny because I feel like there's no manual for this. And that's why I need to sign up for this webinar. There's no manual for this. When you start a new job, you get a manual, you get onboarded, right? There's parenting classes, there's cooking classes,
You preaching.
there's marital counseling before you walk down the aisle, there's a class for you to take so you know how to be a wife and a husband.
Yes, there is.
Ain't no class to teach you how to love you and take care of you. There's no manual for that.
There's not. There's not. We have a lot of voices in the space. We have a lot of Black women who have lent their voices, past and current, right? Who have lent their voices and their work to lay a roadmap, to offer some tips, tricks, and tools, or just some overall I want a word and it's not coming to me, overall narrative, there we go, on the subject. But in terms of a roadmap, in terms of some practical, okay, what do I do? How do I start this off? What do I do when I'm coming up against all of the things that I come up against? There's no roadmap for that. And if you register in that class,
You finna get a roadmap.
you're gonna get one.
We about to be your GPS. Recalculating, rerouting. We finna
Yes,
reroute y'all.
rerouting. You about to make me choke on my water. Come through rerouting. 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 Yes, boo, because we got a different destination. Huh?
Okay.
We ain't trying to
Hello.
go to self-care. Matter of fact, let's be clear. I'm gonna unsay what I just had said. We going to the same place, but we're going to get there through a different route. And the route that we're going to take is the one that allows us to care for ourselves, that allows us to put ourselves first so we can get there well. Self care leads to wellness. Full stop.
Full
Why do you
stop.
think Black women are the ones who are the most diagnosed with a whole slew of dis-ease, sicknesses, illnesses, diseases? Why? Because we push and push and push and push, and we don't pause to take care of ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Rerouting.
Mm-hmm. I was just
Rerouting.
watching a YouTube video. There's this young woman that I follow on YouTube, and it's really rare that I like follow like a specific. There's a couple specific influencers that I follow. 'Cause I tried to like not even entertain the noise and the shenanigans, but there are a couple that I um are avid, fans of. And this one young woman, her YouTube name is Your Level Up Guru.
Nice.
And yeah, I really like watching, and I just recently got acquainted with her maybe a few months ago, and I've been like binge watching her videos.
Nice.
Anyway, so today when I was doing my application, when I should have was sitting my ass down somewhere,
Right. Right.
I was
Right.
playing one of her videos. I was playing one of her videos in the background, and she said that something. Hopefully I don't mess this up, but basically she said something to the effect of, "Men have no problem putting themselves first." She was like, "Why do you think when there's a old married couple, 9 times out of 10 the woman dies first because she's always putting her husband first. He's
Wow.
chilling because you taking care of everything." And I was like, dang, dang. Cause and then I thought about it because I remember reading a study that men actually live longer. Married men live longer than single men.
I think I remember hearing something about that.
Yeah,
Did you tell me that? You might have told me that.
it wasn't me because I just learned that recently.
Okay.
So
Huh.
I don't think it was, but
Yeah.
yeah. So married men live longer than single men. Why?
Yeah. Come on. Come on. And that might also speak to why when the wife does pass, that the man gets married so quickly. You've heard those stories.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. I was
Yeah.
just watching a true crime video. Child, I need to stay off YouTube. I was just watching don't stay off YouTube. Watch the Strong Black Women Support Group podcast on
No,
YouTube.
stay. No, stay here. Don't go nowhere. Don't go nowhere.
And it was this guy. He lost his wife to a she did she had a heart condition that no one knew she had. She didn't even know she had it.
Wow.
She was
See.
maybe 40s, 50s. I can't remember the exact details. Anyway, so daughter came home. Daughter was 15 years old at the time. Came home, found her mom like dead, whatever,
Hmm.
right? And so 9 months later, this fool already married.
Yeah. And listen, no shade. It is what it is. It just speaks even
I'm sorry,
further
that's shade.
to.
You could give grace, but I ain't. That's ridiculous.
All right. Okay. You know,
I'm the ignorant friend, y'all. I'm the ignorant one. That's shade. Fuck him.
I wouldn't say ignorant. I because I understand it. Like if I can, and understanding does not equate agreement
Okay.
in any instance, right? And so I understand I understand that phenomenon. Like I get it. If
Yeah.
you've been accustomed to not being alone for so many years, um, and this person has been essentially caring for many things or everything, that's a huge shift. And when you get older, ain't nobody trying to do all of that. Now I know, and a lot of times
That's true.
women do it, but if the woman has already been doing all of this heavy lifting, then all she has to, and I don't want to say it like that, but what she's now entering into is the grieving. This man is grieving and has to do all the things that his wife was doing. I mean, and so I get it. Like, and I have to say this. I have to say this because I've had a couple of conversations in recent months where I've heard Black men say something to the effect of they got it worse than black women. And my my uncle used to say this, my dog ain't in that fight. I'm not here to prove or disprove that somebody got it worse or somebody got it better. If we both got it shitty. Why am I trying to be like, well, the crap you sitting in smell a little less funky. Like mine is a little bit like yours is dry. This one over here is wet crap. So I think ours is worse. It's both crap. We both
Yeah.
sitting in a pile of crap. Why are we trying to compare and play the trauma Olympics and say who got it worse, who has it better? We got it bad.
Right.
When I talk about the things that black women go through and experience, it is because I am a black woman. And so I know that experience. I do have a son and I do have, cousins and things and also research, access to research and things like that. So I know and I'm aware of and I care about the things that impact black men. I don't know your struggle. And the minute one of us try to get up and say some things and talk, well, you a woman, you ain't got no business telling me you don't know nothing about being a man. But there's a certain bishop who can become a multimillionaire selling books and movies to women, telling them how to be women. But a woman ain't got no business telling you how to be a man. We ain't got nothing to say. We don't have no insight. We don't have anything. So either you want me in it or you don't want me in it. But let's not do that thing where we comparing each other.
Yeah.
End of the day, black women, we have the opportunity to change that narrative for ourselves. We got that opportunity. And we get to do it for ourselves.
Right.
All of that we've done for other people, we get to now turn that onto us. It doesn't mean we're ignoring everybody else.
Oh
It
yeah.
doesn't mean we're abandoning everybody else. It means we are putting ourselves first.
Right.
So first suggests that there are some others to follow.
Yeah, and it's like like you said, we've been doing this for everyone else for so long. So we do need that roadmap on how to really be intentional and mindful about putting our self-care, self-preservation, if you will, first. I remember there was this TikTok video that had went viral. It was a young man of Indian descent, and he was saying like when he was coming of age, his mom was like giving him like a pep talk or whatever, and she said to him, "If you ever need anything, if you ever need help, go to a black woman because they will make sure that you were taken care of, and this and that and that and the third." And this is a Indian woman from India living in India telling her son, who's now I don't know where he was, but he was in the Western world. So I don't know if it was America, Canada, Europe. Anyway, find a
Mhm.
black woman, she'll help you. And it's like the video for him was supposed to be good intention, like she was right. Every time I need help, there's a black woman there. Oh, honey, did you eat? Oh, come here, baby. I got like, and he was giving us our props. Thanks, but that's not a flex. We're not, let me back up. We need to stop being the earth's cleanup women. We don't went from being wet nurses to, oh, go ahead and just, they'll take the any, and I know y'all know this. When you in the workplace, if you work and if you're like one of the only few chocolate chips in your work environment, I know for a fact. Yeah, I'm setting 10 toes, 11 toes down. Okay? I know for a fact when shit go right, it come to your ass. I know that
Yes.
for a fact.
Yes. Yes. Except okay, so when it go down, they coming to you. But when the promotions and the raises come up,
Okay?
they
I
don't know where
literally,
you sit.
they don't know where you sit. Did she come in today? Oh, I think she works from home. I don't know who this person is. I literally just posted a short little video, a story about my a situation that I went through, and the video is on this channel. It's called "Are You a Workplace Pick Me?"
Mm,
Like I
mhm.
said, when I said earlier, consent don't start and end with sex. Pick me don't end and begin with intimate
Right.
relationships, right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
that pick me behavior can bleed into all facets of your life. And for me, I was a workplace pick me girl. Let me tell you, I this is the Reader's Digest version. I'm aging myself. This is the Reader's Digest version of the story where I literally volunteered to head up some event planning committee that did all the cultural events for this organization. And I was like, yeah, of course I'll do it. No problem, no problem. I mean, I did everything from the getting the speakers, the entertainment, the food, coordinating the volunteers, holding the meeting, doing the meeting minute, everything, right? And then I'm noticing like, okay, not only am I doing this voluntarily, right? I'm doing other things voluntarily because I'm thinking, okay, well, this is going to show that I'm a team player and I'm going to show that I'm valuable and I can put this on my resume and they're going to promote me. And so I'm waiting to be promoted first.
Sure.
Bad mistake number one. I'm waiting to be promoted. And then two, I'm noticing like, um, my counterparts, my polar opposites, my white male coworkers, getting promoted and title changes in
Left and right.
offices
Left and
and
right.
stuff.
Mm.
And if they're asked to do something, they'll say, "Oh yeah, no problem, I can do that." So what's my new title? Oh, what's my new salary? Now that you want me to head up this committee, what's my new salary? Oh,
Absolutely.
you are now the
Absolutely.
VP of everything wonderful, and here's $20,000 more. No problem,
Yeah.
right? And so I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, they giving out money and shit. Oh, okay. So I go into the office. I have a whole memo. I had a whole like salary analysis showing how my title was not on par to what I was. I was doing this for years. This worked for years. Cool. Okay.
Mm.
You know me, I'm an overachiever, so I'm not just gonna bust up in there and be like, give me a raise. I'm gonna show proof. I
Come
have a
on.
whole.
Come on.
I'm sorry, Regina, we just don't have any money in the budget.
We don't have it. I swear.
But wait, here's the kicker. And then I said, because mind you, I'm not gonna tell you what my position was, but I had access to the budget.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank
so
you.
I
Yes.
know it was. Okay, okay. And then, so when I combated that, when I had my rebuttal, you know what they said to me, Akua? I shit you not. Well, Regina, it's just not your time. I'm sorry. Literally, the ink ain't dry off of Brad's bachelor's degree yet,
Right.
and my G got a whole office. My G got a whole office. Could work from home, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. That's real. That's real. I mean, like I'm thinking of that song where they go, "His name is my name too. Your story is my story too." It almost verbatim. I'm in a department and I was interested in shifting from my role as admin support into project management. And in that organization, that was the path. You either go higher up on the admin, path, or you go into project coordination, project management. And so I'm watching them bring in, and so my concern was, and this was I was younger, and so I wasn't really clear on how things were divided and the intersectionality of racism and sexism and misogyny. None of that, right? And so I saw women being promoted. We had a huge department, and in this position, I didn't have access to the budget, but I did have access to the head count. So I knew that we were looking to hire X number of people.
Yep.
And I'm
Yep.
watching them bring men and women in. None of them were Black. Eventually, there was one Black man, but everybody else, there was just all these different nationalities. And so I was like, oh, okay. So they are bringing women into this. So, like you, got all my little stuff together. I was a workplace pick me. I had volunteered for all of these different projects, getting accolades all along the way about how I was saving money, about how I was shaving time off of the schedule, doing it efficiently. all the people that I'm working with are just giving all of these glowing, oh my gosh, she's just so great to work with, and da 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 da. And yeah, we got all this information and so great. All these wonderful things. I brought all this in there and talked to them, knowing the head count, only to hear number one, I didn't lead with the fact that I knew the head count. So number one, I heard that it's not in the budget. And then so I was very subtle and I was like, oh, I thought we've slated to hire X number of people. In other words, bitch, you lying. Uh, then the other one was, oh yeah, it's a process. We have to together as a team. And if I put you forward, then the other guys are gonna think that I'm playing favorites and I gotta work. Oh my freaking goodness. So you're trying to, what is that word, like compel or something, what is the word that I want, you're trying to like call upon that gentle caring nature. You don't want me to look like I'm showing favorites, do you? And so my response is supposed to be, oh no, Sabasa, I don't want nobody thinking. At the end of the day, what I didn't realize it then, that's very glaringly obvious right now, you didn't want to put a Black woman in that role. And these roles, none of those people had the skills or experience that I had. Several of the women that they brought into those roles had come from department secretary roles, which in that organization was a lower designation than the role that I was in, right? But they were willing to train them. They paid for them to get PMP training. They paid for them to take that PMP exam. Baby, we know that ain't cheap. It ain't cheap now, and it was
It's
not cheap
not.
then.
It is
And they
not.
were willing to cultivate that gift. But for me, it was a no go. This is what we have to deal with. So then we're taught, remember all that stuff we was talking about socialized belief? We're taught then to go back and gaslight ourselves. Well, yeah, no, I have only been doing this for 2 years. That's true. I've only been gaslight ourselves because this person ain't did it for no years. But no,
Hello.
he's right. I don't want him to make it seem like he's looking like favorites. Knowing that I was in the meeting when when you purposely picked somebody because they were someone that you really liked and you hit it off with. I saw all these gaslighting myself. Imagine what that's doing to us on the inside.
Right.
Imagine what that's doing to us on the inside. How do you feel when somebody gaslights you? But you doing it to you. So who can I run to?
Who can I run to? And that's why I said we need to break down the word self care.
Yeah, yeah,
Because if you really care about yourself, right? Because care is not a feeling. Okay, let me back up. Care is not just a feeling.
yeah,
It is not just an emotion.
yeah.
It is an action. That's why when you are assisting an elderly person, it's called you're taking care of them.
You're the caregiver.
You're a
Yeah,
caregiver,
yeah.
right?
That's good stuff.
Some of us need to be care keepers and gatekeepers. Because sometimes we gotta
Listen,
access denied too. That's a whole nother, that's gonna be part two of this conversation. Access denied.
period. Period. I love carekeeper. Listen, that's yours. You said it first. You said it first. That's yours.
Listen, we finna have some what would Harriet do bracelets and some
Period.
carekeeper t-shirts.
I'm a carekeeper. I
Because we
have
need
to
to
learn how to be a carekeeper.
and we need to remind ourselves of that. Because
Yeah.
it's like it's a knee-jerk reaction to take care of, like if you're walking down the street, if you see someone trip, the first thing you do is gonna run and try to catch them before they fall. Right?
Yes.
It's a
Yes.
knee-jerk reaction. Why don't
Can,
we
can
have that knee-jerk reaction for ourselves?
can I tell you, and I'm so proud of myself, the progress I'm making in this space, because it used to be people would come and they would never ask me directly. And this is outside of the work. This is in church groups and even in family situations where somebody be like, yeah, I don't know who I can get to help me. I just need to do this thing, or I got to go do this thing tomorrow, but I sure don't feel like going. I got to go by myself. Knee jerk. Automatic. I'll go with you. I've got an idea. I can't figure out how to do this thing. I gotta make this program and I don't know how to do it. I will help you. I've put myself into positions, Regina, where I was writing people's sermons. I was writing people's proposals for programs. Okay. I was writing people's grant, like you going for a grant. I didn't have nothing to do with their organization, agency, or whatever, but I was writing their grants. I was create like I would even have people call me and tell my boss need me to do something, something, something. I don't know how to use that program. I don't know how to do that. When I tell you, I invited them to email that to me. I got you when you need it by. I put myself out there in so many ways. It was a knee jerk reaction. There was nothing in me. And the way I knew it was a knee jerk reaction was because I started to pay attention to that voice that happened after the fact. Why am I doing this? Why did I say yes to this thing? Why did I agree to do this? Just in the middle of doing it, like I'm tired and nothing in me could bring myself to say, "Hey, I know I said I would help you, but I'm tired. I got so far on it. I'm gonna send it back to you. You can take it from there." No, because I was giving care instead of keeping it. Oh, you know that was deep. You that was you deep with that one.
Just saying. I mean, I know a little son, son.
You may know it's
A
that.
little
You may
bit.
know it's that. Period.
Just a little piece. Just a little piece. It's a little inside. I go on. Where'd she go? I know I'm
I'm
stupid.
done. I'm
Yeah.
done. Roll the credits. Leave the theater.
Y'all know I'm stupid. But I think this was a really good conversation. And I'm serious. I feel like we need to do a part two
I
because
love that.
we are really like because we already had an hour. So yeah, we got to do a part two to this because this self-care as resistance topic is very because we have a lot more to iron out. We have a lot
Yeah.
more to iron out, and if y'all were resonating with our stories and anecdotes and experiences, I highly, highly, highly recommend, highly encourage you to sign up for the 5 ways to slay your self care in 2025 and beyond. Register today on Eventbrite. I have the website link, the registration link sliding down in the bottom. So this is a virtual event that Dr. Akua and I are joining forces to do. I'm gonna wear the lens of the peer, the person with lived experience. Dr. Akua is also gonna wear that hat, but she also has her expertise that she is gonna bless us with. So I really highly encourage you to sign up. Now, if you are a member, if you're already a member of the Strong Black Women Support Group, um, via Patreon, you actually can attend this for free. This is one of the virtual master classes that you get for free. If you're not a member and you just want to attend, go to this link and register. But if you are already a member, you will have your own unique private link. And if you want to join the Strong Black Women Support Group, where we have master classes and webinars and co-working. Oh, that's what I wanted to talk about, that co-working. We have a virtual co-working space that's exclusively for black women. So if you work from home or if you have, your own office at work and you don't feel like dealing with them, you want to close your door and join us on Zoom. We co-worked, what was it, on Tuesday? You
I
joined
think
us
so.
on, I think it was Tuesday,
Yeah.
and you said you got a lot down. Do you want to just tell the people just a little bit about it?
Tell the people, tell the my name is Akua. And no, I did. It was dope. It was dope. For me, there's some times when I can work and I can get her done, but there's other times when I have something that I need to focus on. I need the accountability of being in the space with somebody else, just that shared space with somebody else. So literally, we were on there. It was silent. I did. I did break the silence once or twice. I was like, have y'all ever heard of something, something, something? Because I was trying to work through something. And they offered their expertise and their, thoughts about it. And in the middle of the time, I had a couple of phone calls. And for me, a phone call is just a thing that will take me away from the work that I'm doing. And it'll take me a minute to get back to it. But because I was in that co-working space, I muted myself, turned off the camera, took my calls, and then because they were still here, I turned everything back on and got back to work. I got so much done in that day. Normally, it would have taken me several days to get it done, but I was actually able to complete it in that time span that we worked together. So very much. I was over here like giving my testimonial in right before I logged off. I was like, I'm about to go, but let me tell you something about this space. We tell you about
Yeah.
something here cultivated over here.
So that's what we're all about with the Strong Black Women Support Group. We do talk a lot about very specific mental health topics, but to me, us doing that virtual co-working space is also self-care too, because we were being productive, and we were able to focus. We were able to hold each other accountable. We were able to help each other. Like you said, you had a question, we were able to troubleshoot it in real time, and then we went right back to work. We wasn't like,
Yeah.
oh, since you answered that question, let's kiki and laugh and joke. No, we were being productive, okay? Because we have stuff to do, okay?
Yeah.
And like Akua said, she was able to get something done that would have normally taken her days to do. She did it within those hours that we were on. So if because I work from home, and I'm not going to say I get lonely, because I don't, because leave me alone. But but when I'm not co-working, I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I go down a YouTube rabbit hole and just start watching shenanigans, and
Mm-hmm.
and the fridge is right there, and
And this stuff is happening outside, and the phone is ringing, and all the things.
yeah, yeah. So yeah. So I'm so glad that you were an official member of the Strong Black Women Support Group, and you were
Yay.
able to participate in the co-worker. So we do it every week, Tuesdays and Thursdays from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But we're going to go ahead and end this conversation now. Um, I know this is an abrupt stop, but I want us to, really dive into this more when we do a part two. We did not anticipate a part two, but we said a lot.
Yeah,
So
you
we're
got
gonna end
good.
it. Yeah. So we're gonna end it here. Let y'all process some things, and then we're definitely gonna do a part two to this, because, yeah. So that's about it. This was the Strong Black Women Support Group podcast, a mindful and melanated production. Let me stop. I'm your host,
Good.
Regina Renee, and we have Dr. Akua, our doctor of residence here. And thank you for joining us. Bye.
You've been holding it down for so long, carrying the weight, staying so strong. But it's time to let go of the pain. No more hiding behind all that endless rain. You've been told you need to be better than the rest, running through life, feeling all the stress. But here's a place where you can just